officers at Alamo Title. And with me is my amazing, fearless social media partner, Sarah, who you've heard talking and doing our pictures. So wave again, Sarah.
Hello, everybody.
Sarah is my partner in crime, people. We've been working together for like almost 3 years. Could not do one thing without her. I just adore her. So here we are. We're going to have a great time today. Just so you know a little bit about like how all this came about. My background is in marketing and PR. That is what I have done my entire career. I even majored in it at school. So for like 2 decades, this is what I've been doing. I love it. I love working with entrepreneurs. I've been an entrepreneur. And you guys, man, this is like a hard business, right? I mean, there's so many things that you have to be great at. So Sarah and I, our goal is to help bring great content to you that is really going to move the needle in your business. We focus primarily on anything in the digital space. So if there is something traditional, we're going to find a way to spin it around and turn it into a digital strategy for you. So today is all about how to get your business Google ready. And Sarah's going to take you through a couple of key things that you can do that's going to make a difference right away. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So thrilled that you're here. We are going to leave time to do Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, certainly feel free to put them in the chat, but just know at the end, we're going to have you guys, whoever has questions, come off mic, and we're just going to answer them right here, right now. So let's get into it. I'm admitting one more person. So Sarah, let's get into it. Hit the record button if you haven't already.
And I did already. I'm ahead of the game today.
Yes, let's do it. Okay.
All right.
Rule number one for everyone today, must have fun. Okay. Must have fun. That is what we do here with Ashley and Sarah on Fun Fridays. So have a great time. Do not get stressed out. Know that we are here to help you every step of the way. So let's do it.
Okay, guys, I am super excited today because
this one has
we have been working around the clock during the holidays to get some new stuff to you.
You tried to use it one time, I guess.
Somebody, let's see here.
There we go. I think I found her.
Okay.
I think I found the culprit.
Okay. So we've been working around the clock to get some new stuff to you guys because we're watching the trends. We're watching the things that are happening online. You know, this past year, like everything went digital, right? If you weren't digital already, you were forced to become that way. And so within the past year, we've seen the trends, we've seen people moving, on and off platforms. We've seen new platforms rise. But the one thing that always stays the same is Google. Google has been the top of the heap forever. If you guys will like throw back, way back, you had your Yahoos, you still have Bing that's really trying to make it. You had your not GeoCities. Now I can't even think of what it was called. All these browsers, we had DuckDuckGoose or whatever it was called, DuckDuckGo, but Google has always been at the top. And so we have decided that this year we're really, Netscape, thank you. Have really tried to push toward using Google more effectively because, if you have a website that you have invested your dollars in building by yourself, then Google is the place that you have to load up if you want that website to be found. If you are on a brokerage sponsored website as part of, your membership to that brokerage, then you need to brand yourself separate from all the other agents that are also using that platform. Because, you guys that are like Remax and KW and Coldwell Banker and Century 21, like you have to separate yourself from the other agents that are in your office using the exact same website, right? So we're going to be using Google to set ourselves apart, to show how we're different, and then how we can go out and find our people and bring them to us, okay? And I just want to, on a side note, want to say hello to Mr. Charles Beauford, because I have been doing business with him for a few months now, and I'm just now getting to see him in person, I guess in person, right? So welcome, I'm so glad to see you here. Okay, so I am switching to Canva, sharing my screen, and let's get this started. minimize that. Share this. Uh-oh, I'm frozen. Present. Okay, cool. All right. Can somebody tell me, do you see my screen, how to get Google ready for Business 2021?
Yes.
Yes.
I see it.
Okay.
Yep, I see it.
My biggest fear in life is starting to talk and then like 5 minutes in, somebody goes, we can't see your screen. And I'm like, what? So I want to make sure before I even start. Okay. So we're just going to jump right in. Number one, getting your business Google ready is to control the first impression. So when people first hear about you, whether it's on, a sign at the Little League field, or it's a Facebook post, or it's a referral from your neighbor, or it's a sign out in somebody's yard, whenever they Google you, which now is a word in the dictionary for searching for something online, when they Google you, you want to have control of what they see at the very beginning, okay? So number one, we want to buy Google keywords for your name. So you can control the first impression and send prospective clients exactly where you want to send them. So whenever you Google someone's name, you have no control over what website shows up at the top and how far down your website is. If your website isn't the best, if your brokerage that you're using, it's not as intense as you want it to be, you can send people somewhere else before they stumble upon that website. You can send them to a landing page specifically built to introduce people to your way of doing business. You can send them to the home page of your website or to the About Me page of your website and kind of skip the home search stuff until they get to know you. You can send them to your Instagram, your Facebook, your YouTube channel. We were just talking with a client this week about she wants to build her YouTube channel. So we're talking about doing Google ads for her name. So when someone Googles her name and they click on that ad, it will take them to her YouTube channel so they can watch her videos and get to know her. This is a great example. So whenever you Google just Frisco homes for sale, not any particular person, not any particular thing, the first one that comes up is a new build community in Frisco. Okay, that's a builder. You can't beat that one because they've got tons of money going toward their ads. Number two is Black Swan Realtor Dallas. So they have bought the words Frisco homes for sale. They have put their money into the auction. And this Black Swan Realtor has gotten the result right here. So then if I'm like, I wonder who that is, or I Googled it, then I got distracted. And then I came back and I'm like, what was their name? Something Swan, Black Swan. And I type it in right here. Then what we want to happen is for there to be an ad right here on top of this one. So these guys are lucky. They have amazing SEO, which means that they are able to are able to have their Google My Business page on the side. But the first thing that shows up whenever you Google Black Swan Group or Black Swan is somebody that's not a real estate agent, right? So this goes to the wrong place. So they need to buy their name so that they show up right here on top of our team Black Swan, the Black Swan Group. They need to show up there because they have the Google My Business page over here to the right with their picture. They need to have an ad right there as well so that you don't accidentally click on this website and then you're like, oh, that's not what I'm looking for. And then by the time you click back, you're distracted and you're moving on to something else. Number two, over-index on Google My Business. We just saw why Google My Business is important for this team. If someone Googles their name, they come up to the wrong website, but they have the right people over in the Google My Business box. So you need to over-index on that and make sure that you have that maxed out, all the information you could possibly put there so that if somebody sees that first, and they don't have the opportunity to get to your website using the search feature, then they can come over here to this box and be able to get to you. Okay. So this is a great opportunity to add all of your information and photos of yourself, your team, and any recently just sold properties. You can just keep a library of all your properties, just keep adding them in there because there's not a limit. And you can make posts as if you're making to social media. So anything that you would typically post to your social, you can post on your Google My Business page. You can do one post a week. They will last for a week and then it will expire. And so every week, go in, make a new post so that it will show up with your Google My Business page when people search for you. You can add the Q&A section, which I'm going to show you in just a second. Unless a person opens a specific question with the Q&A box, the viewer doesn't know who asks the question. So you can go in there, ask a question, and then answer your own question as your business. So this is another way to just show depth and detail and have lots of information available to people as to why they should choose you over somebody else, or whether they should trust you based on a referral from somebody else. And then last on this one, make sure that you're asking for reviews. I've had lots of people that I talk to, their brokerage has like an automated system that gets reviews and then it goes and puts them on your website and all that kind of stuff. What you really need to do is proactively, those clients that you really connected with, go ahead and take a second step and ask them, hey, would you mind copying and pasting the review that you wrote and then give them the text of it right there? Type it out for them or whatever, copy and paste it and put it in a Google review. Here's the link you need to click. So all they do is copy, click, paste, submit. And now you have a Google review and they didn't even have to type anything because you did all the work for them. But Google reviews are their weight in gold when it comes to picking someone randomly online that you don't personally know. You have to rely on the reviews of others. Your SEO, make sure your name, your address, your phone number, every piece of contact information is exactly the same and consistent, okay? Every digital profile you have, Realtor, Zillow, Google My Business, Facebook, Instagram, well, kind of Instagram, LinkedIn, they should all have your name the way you want your name to be. They should all have your address as the exact same address everywhere. Your phone number needs to be the same phone number across the board. That way, Google knows who you are and it can match up anything that's off-site. So spell everything exactly the same. If you have a suite number in your office address and you spell it out one way, then you need to spell it out another way. If you, if you have it as Suite 101 on Google, but then on Facebook, you have it as number 101, Google doesn't recognize as that being the same place all the time. You need to make it easy for Google to know that you're the same person and kind of aggregate all of your information into the same search. This is an excellent example. So my friend Andrea from Andrea Miller Group, when you Google her name, so somebody gives a referral and says, hey, you have to call my realtor, Andrea, she's amazing. And so you go in there like, okay, Andrea Miller, Google, right? The first thing that shows up in search is a dancer. And the second thing that shows up is the dancer's Harvard profile. And then the third thing that shows up is the Andrea Miller that we're talking about. But if you come over here to the Google My Business page, she pops up, Andrea Miller Group. You see, she's got one Google review. We're going to work on that. She's got her logo. She's got her location. And so you can see that this is who we're looking for. So we're going to ignore all of these search results that weren't the person I was looking for. And I'm going to click that website address. Or if you're going to be meeting with her in person at her office, you can just Google her name and then click directions and you can get directions over to her office, Google Map. So it's really easy to contact her because she has all of her information right there. She's got her website, she's got directions on how to get to her office, she's got her phone number. You can call her directly from here on mobile. Everything's ready to go. All right, number 3, maxing out your off-page SEO. And this kind of ties into that Google My Business piece because we want to make sure that all of your profiles from Facebook to Zillow to Realtor, all of them have consistency. All of them are exactly the same profile picture, the same way that you've written your name, the same phone number, the same address, the same website, the same email, like everything needs to be exactly the same. This is a great example. So our friends Herbie and Kathy, they are Herbie and Kathy, always. It's a team, right? So they have Herbie and Kathy on homes.com. They have Herbie and Kathy on Realtor. They have Herbie and Kathy on Homes for View. They have Herbie and Kathy on their Google My Business page. So they have the same everywhere you look because they are a team. They market themselves as a team and they list themselves as a team every single place that they have their information. Get all matchy. So this means, does your profile look the same on all of your different platforms? Would your clients instantly know that it's you? And I'm calling you guys out because I know you're guilty of this. If you have a picture from like 10 years ago and you don't look like that anymore, you need to update your picture. Even if that picture was amazing and you had just gotten a blowout and you'd had your, gotten a spray tan, whatever. And now you're like, yeah, maybe I don't look so good. Well, it doesn't matter because your clients need to know it's you when they're looking for you. If they click on something and they're like, oh, this is my realtor, click, oh, wait, that's not her. That is not a good thing. Okay. So nobody cares what you look like. They just care that they know your face, right? So you need to make sure your clients know that it's you and it's the same picture in every single place you can put a profile picture. Okay. If you use different photos, type, fonts, colors from one site to the next, if you switch them around all the time, then you need to go in 2021 and make everything match. If you've changed brokerages, you need to go in and you need to make sure all of your sites, every place that has your information is updated to your new brokerage with your new logos and your new colors. Okay, make everything match. Your job is to make it dumb and easy for someone to recognize you immediately. This is how you tap into the power of multi-channel marketing and gain top of mind awareness where people start telling you, I see your stuff everywhere. If they see different pictures with different color schemes and different logos here, there, they're not going to match up in their mind that this is you. This is all one person. But if they see the same photo with the same colors and the same logo on the signs, on the t-shirts, on the flyers at the school, on the Facebook page, in their Google ads, they see the same thing everywhere, then they will be like, whoa, this person is everywhere, right? So we have to make sure that everything matches. This is a great example. I love Noble Black. I don't know him. He's a realtor in New York, but his social media space, you can see his banner. This is from LinkedIn. His banner is Central Park lit up at night. He's got the New York skyline in this other picture. Then when you go to his Instagram, one of his pictures on Instagram, actually 2, are in front of Central Park. So he has branded himself as the New York Central Park based, if you want to live in this area of New York, I know it kind of guy, because every single thing that he posts is all about that area of New York. It's very specific and it's very branded. Okay. Everything matches. Tip number 5. I'm just going to give you a couple of tools that we can use to up our game a little bit. So the first one is Google My Business Insights. which is a place, if you have a Google My Business box, your box, when you log in, you don't see what everyone else does. You see your stuff, right? From the login side. So you can go in and look at insights and see what search words people used that your box showed up for. So this isn't just search in general. This is specifically for Google My Business, but it will show you what people were searching for when your box popped up for them. Okay, so this can help you figure out how you can up your game. So if you're showing up, your box is showing up for maybe an area of Dallas that you don't necessarily, I know realtors always say, like, I'll sell anywhere, I'll go anywhere, but somewhere that you don't like going on a regular basis, right? It's like 2 hours away. Then maybe you need to change some of the things about your Google My Business page to make it more friendly to the areas that you want to dominate. 2, the Google Search Console. So this one is if you have your own website that you have access to the DNS records. And so that's kind of technical, but if you own your URL and you own the building of the actual website, then you can use this. So what you do is you go to search.google.com, you put in your website address. They will give you a code that you have to go into your DNS records and add. Then it will tell you what searches people were using to find your website. So the first one was your Google My Business box. The second one was your website. So when people click on your website, what words were they searching when they found it? And this is awesome because it tells you what people are actually looking for. And then you can use those same words on your website when people land to tell them, yes, you're in the right place. The third one is name check. So it's CHK shortened. Here you type in your name and you can see all the social profiles that there are online and different domains. And you can see how many are using your name and you can check. For example, if you're like, I'm not sure if it's available, I need to change, let's say, my Instagram username to be more branded toward me to match my other stuff. So I want to go see if it's available. And you can use name check to go see what usernames are still available that aren't being used that you can have. So it's just like a one-stop shop to check and see what's available. Because I know all of you guys, and this is just side note, if you don't have your name as a URL, www.sarahsilveringaraju.com, right? If you don't have that for yourself, go check and see if it has been bought. And if it has not, go buy it. It's cheap to have a URL with your name. And if it's taken by somebody else, do realtor at the end. So sarahsilveringaraju.realtor.com. And just buy that up and have it in your pocket in case you ever need it. And then the last one is Ubersuggest. This is very much like the Keywords Everywhere tool that Ashley and I talk about quite a bit, but this is web-based, so you don't have to download anything. It's just a website you use. So you can type in your URL for your website, any keywords that you're wanting to kind of master, any topics that you are wanting to talk about, and it will bring up keywords and other suggestions to help you improve and kind of refine that idea. So for example, if you wanted to start talking specifically to new construction, you can go in there and type new construction, and then it will suggest to you a whole bunch of topics and keywords and things that people search for by popularity, so that okay, nobody's really searching for, new construction, inspections after new construction. They're searching for, do I need a realtor for new construction, right? And so it'll show you the popularity of these topics so that you know what you need to talk about whenever you're doing a Facebook Live, if you're blogging, if you're doing a YouTube video, anything like that, adding things to your website. So these are just tools for you guys to use to kind of up your game a little bit, do some research, tweak a few things, and then, really, really be Google ready. All right, number 6, if you want to be Google ready, you need to be YouTube ready. I know that we harp on this a lot, but guys, if 2020 has not taught us anything, it's that you need to show your face online or people will forget who you are. And people will discover you online when you show your face. So YouTube is the second most utilized website and search engine behind Google. So being Google ready really means being YouTube ready because they're owned by the same parent company. They are completely integrated. So when you're owning one of the search websites in Google and you're owning the second one in YouTube, then you're really, really owning the internet space. Okay. So here are just a couple of tips. We teach YouTube classes, so I'm not going to super deep dive today into all of this stuff. I'm just going to give you a couple of high level tips to kind of get you started or thinking. And then of course you can always reach out to us one-on-one if you want to talk about these in any more depth. So one, definitely create eye-catching thumbnails. A thumbnail is the picture that you see here. Living in Texas is like, with kind of an and face, learn the different areas of Texas with the thinking face. You know, these are eye-catching, right? People don't have to guess what it is you're going to talk about when they look at these thumbnails. They know. So it's very eye-catching. 2, clear titles and keywords. So people who have Googled, what's it like living in Dallas, Texas, will come across this video because this isn't a cute, catchy title. This is very clear, and it uses the exact keywords that AK did research for to find out what are people Googling when it comes to moving to Dallas. So he took those words and that's exactly what he named his video. Number 3, your videos need to be between 4 and 6 minutes long. That is about as long as you can hold somebody's attention on a single video, but it's long enough for YouTube to prefer you because they can place ads inside your video. And if your video is too short, then they don't want to put an ad because it'll drive people away having an ad 10 seconds into a video. So 4 to 6 minutes is your ideal time for any video. And then you need to ask for subscribers. You know, at the beginning, show them where to subscribe. At the end, ask them to subscribe. In your end credits, at the end where you have the cards on the thing, have something where they can click to subscribe. Subscribers is what gets you up the ladder in YouTube. A few months ago, we had AK on and we talked to him personally about YouTube. And he told us that at 100, that's when you get a name. So you can change that random extension or whatever and name it like youtube.com/social media Sarah or whatever. Like you can change that end of your YouTube channel at 100 subscribers. Then once you reach 1,000, he said it's almost like your exposure skyrockets because YouTube says, okay, this is a serious YouTube user. And we are going to allow them to be shown to many, many more people. And that's the point where your YouTube channel goes from the grind to seeing results. And that really depends on what your video is about, who you're targeting, and all the work you're putting into your YouTube channel. So one thing I do want to show you, so I'm using these examples here. These are from 9 months ago. September, when we did the first Google your getting your business Google ready class. So I took these screenshots 9 months ago. I want to show you something. So same screenshots. And today I went to go see, I wonder what these videos look like today. So his moving to Dallas, Texas video has taken over first place on his channel as the most popular, but notice how many views he has increased since September. His living in Dallas video has increased by over 3,000 views. His moving to Dallas, Texas video has increased 7,000 views. So between September and January, these two videos have gotten over 10,000 views put together. Just think about that. You know, he started these, like these 2 videos you see over here in September, he made these last January. So a year ago, 1 year, he's gotten almost 40,000 views on 2 videos. And if you were with us when we did the YouTube class, he is on the regular getting people reaching out to him and saying, hey, I watched your YouTube video, I'm moving, or I need a house, or I want to work with you, or whatever. It took a year. It took a little less than a year, but it took a year to reach this kind of thing to where he doesn't even have to think about his videos anymore. He knows he's going to get views on them. So it's a hustle, but you have to go there if you want to take advantage of the power of YouTube. All right. So last bonus tips, which I know you guys are waiting for it, right? Like, okay, how do I get started? What do I do? How do I like take off? Okay. If you're not ready, or if you're working on YouTube and you want to kind of jump ahead of the line, the one thing you can do is put a Google ad on YouTube. Okay. So YouTube is built on video, but they have non-video formats for ads that you can put on. So they've got, you know, overlays, sponsor cards, display, and then TrueView videos, which are like tiny little short videos, you know, 10, 15 seconds. So I want to show you some examples. If you look over here, this is a screenshot just from YouTube, right? And you see the in-display ad is this SEMrush orange one over here to the side. So it kind of sits over here to the side. A sponsored card sits right there on top of the actual video while it's playing. And an overlay ad will be that kind of grayish box playing at the bottom of the video. So these are 3 different places you can put an ad that are not a video ad, but they're on YouTube. Okay. So this is a way to kind of jump ahead of the line and use YouTube for your business while you're still trying to get that YouTube channel to launch. Here are some like real live examples that I did. So over here to the left, you see New Build Homes Dallas is what I searched for on YouTube. And you see 3 ads, 1, 2, 3. Those are set up within the Google Ads platform, and they are told to go to YouTube amongst other places as well. So when someone searches, before they ever come to a video about someone who is talking about new build homes, you have ads that talk about new build homes. And then over here on the right, this is someone who's talking about home repair. So see the ad that popped up, become a real estate investor. So what these people did is they've created an ad that targets the kinds of videos people are watching and the kinds of things that they're searching for. And it says, if it fits one of these categories, I want my ad to show up. So you as a realtor can create an ad that says, I want my ad to show up for people who are searching for residential properties and condos and townhomes. They're searching for moving companies because they're about to move. They're searching mortgages, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So we can take those searches and say, I want my ad to show up on YouTube and other places online that fit these categories. So it's not showing up on a shoe website. It's showing up on a website that people are actually searching for what it is you're advertising. So this is a bonus tip, using Google Ads for YouTube to kind of get ahead of that YouTube curve while you're still working on building up that YouTube channel. And that's it. That's what I got. I want questions now.
Awesome job. Yay. Okay, you guys, I hope that you learned a bunch. I know we went through a lot of content, so we want to hear from you. We want your questions. So come off mic and let us know. Let us know what you need, what you have questions about.
I've got a question.
All right, Mike Rankin.
Yes.
Right.
So question is, I'm in Mineral Wells. There's not a lot of realtors that do a lot online. I've been trying to get up the list when you search for realtors in Mineral Wells on the search list. You know how it has like 20 different realtors and it, in order. I want to be up on the top. What is it going to take to get up there? Is there certain tips or things that can help me start bumping up the list? I mean, I've been making regular posts and things like that, but I'm still not up there. I've got more reviews than all the ones above me, but I don't have length of time.
Right. And that's the thing, right? Is if they've been there for a long time, then they're going to have that build up over time of viewers. And so I would say you're doing the right thing. If you're doing, blog posts, you're putting, making videos or anything, maybe contribute articles, like write things and then contribute them to local newspapers or bloggers or any kind of publications, magazines, anything like that, where you can get your name somewhere else on the internet other than just your website. Really exercising, because so what you're talking about is organic SEO, getting up the ranks. Now, the easy way, and what I would, if I were working with you, Mike, I would say, let's buy your name and let's buy every neighborhood in Mineral Wells that you're wanting to farm. And we would have a click ad so that you show up above all those people, but you're going to pay for it. Now, if not very many people are savvy in Mineral Wells to using Google Ads, then it may be extremely cheap for you to do this because you're going to pay per click in an auction. So if there's not very many people in the auction, then your clicks are going to be relatively inexpensive.
Did that answer your question, Mike?
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect. And Sarah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I'm like, unfortunately with Google and Facebook, it's pay to play. So you can pay to have your name show up while you're working on your organic reach. So you want to have both of those things working together at the same time.
Yes.
All
Hey,
right.
this is Tad. I have a question.
Hey, Ted.
How you doing? If we go in to buy a domain and there's just a ton of it, like .com is most likely taken, but there's a .net, a .us, a .tech, a .this, a .that, whatever. Is it worth buying one of those other ones just to have it? Or do you just move on to something else and maybe go with like the Andrea Miller or whatever?
.net, yes. The other ones, no. Unless you're trying to do something kind of creative and it's your first one, like, now they have like .homes or .realtor or something. You can buy those to kind of make a branding statement. But for you guys that are, established already, the .net, yes, but the others I feel like might be a waste because, nobody types those in.
Got it?
Tad, did we answer your question?
Did, yes, thank you.
Okay, good. Let me just look in the chat. Christopher
I
said,
have a couple also.
I
have one.
okay, hold on just one second. All right, Christopher wants to know, how do you get up on Google Business? Is that where my ad shows up when I call them? Christopher, I'm not sure what you're asking there. Where are you, buddy?
Yeah, so there's a way that you can get up. It's when your phone number that's on Google, you call people and your ad shows up, like your picture. I think it's through Google Business, but I'm not quite sure how to even get my Google Business set up.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is if you have a Google phone number, right? Yeah. So what you would want to do if you have a Google phone number, and for you guys that don't know, if you don't want to give out like your personal cell number, you can create a Google phone number where, they have to say their name and then Google will ring you. And when you answer, it's like, so-and-so is calling or whatever, and it has their name. So you could decide whether you want to answer right away or not. So for that, definitely have that number on your Google My Business page and every other place. Because if they do click on that call button that's on your Google My Business page, then it will show up when they're calling you with the picture, right?
Okay. So is it the Google My Business page?
Yeah, well, it's a separate thing, but once you buy that number, it's integrated with your Google My Business page. Yeah.
Okay, so I just need to get a Google My Business page?
Yes.
Okay.
I happen to know people that do those for people.
Well, I need to find one of those people.
Christopher, you're so fun. We can help you with that, no problem.
Absolutely.
Okay, Dion, back to you. Oh, now she's got to unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, girl.
Okay, so my question was kind of answered because I do know somebody who can help me with this. Her name is Sarah, I think.
That's right.
But the two things. So I have, in terms of the consistency of the business names, I haven't changed my name completely, but I want to make it consistent across all the boards to, across all the platforms. If I've purchased one domain that's similar, so what do you do when it comes to that, to like just make it consistent across the board and get a new domain? And then demographics, is there a way to set up these ads for certain demographics?
Okay, so as far as your URL is concerned, you're going to want to pick, like if you have several that are similar and you're kind of, keeping all of them in your pocket, you're going to want to pick the one that's going to be the easiest for people to remember off the top of their head. And that's the one you need to put on everything. And then, like, for example, I have, like, my website is buzzhustle.com, right? But I have my name, as if anybody could actually spell it. I have socialmediasarah.com. I have buzzhustledigitalmarketing.com. I have buzzhustle marketing. So no matter what you type in any combination, you'll get to my website. But the one I tell people is buzzhustle.com because it's weird and it's easy to spell, right? So yeah, use the one that's the easiest, but then have all your other ones forwarding to your main website. So if somebody happens to type them in, even do that for like common misspellings. See if you can go buy something that people typically misspell your name. Go buy that URL just in case. Then as far as demographics for ads, we still have the same loose regulations on Google as far as we can't do age, parent status, zip codes, or income levels. Okay. But what we can do a lot of, and this is what we used to be able to do on Facebook that really ties your hands, is we can do a lot of things with interests. So people that are interested in things that only certain age groups of people or demographic groups of people would be interested in, we can put that stuff in to try to hone in on who we really want. Okay. And we can't put zip codes, but we can put very tight geographic areas. Okay. So if there's a specific area you want to be in, we don't have to have it a minimum of 15 miles like Facebook is. Okay. We can have it very, very tight.
The other cool thing we can do, Sarah, just to add on to what you're saying, is that we have the ability to use our keywords everywhere tool and figure out what keywords we want to use. And we can put that into the settings when we're establishing the ad. So that's another way that we can make sure that that ad shows up and basically tries to find the specific people that we're looking for. Yeah. Sarah, I don't know if you want to elaborate.
Oh, yeah. So if I were to go into Google and type in, homes for sale, Sandbrook Ranch, because I'm looking at Christopher and we did an ad for that. So if I were to type that in, keywords everywhere would give me all of the search results for people who went to properties having to do with Sandbrook Ranch. So it will give me what I've searched for plus a whole bunch of other ones. And all I do is I take those and I paste it into that ad. So anybody who's searching for any of these various things, will also come up, even if I missed something in my searches, right? So keywords everywhere helps me to really keep that up. Now, on the side with that, if you want to do a search ad for a neighborhood, I'll take Sandbrook Ranch, for example, again. You have to remember, if you're going to do a search ad where when someone Googles it, it shows up on this side and with the website, that you're competing against builders and people like that have lots of money. So if you want to own a particular neighborhood, we would do research with Keywords Everywhere and Uber Suggest and places like that, where we would figure out, okay, this costs X number of dollars per click. Is that worth it for you to own the words for this neighborhood? And a great example is, I was looking up earlier, top agent in Dallas. Like, that's what I Googled. And this guy shows up, the only realtor with all these other brokerages that shows up, and he pays about $8 or $9 per click for that ad, right? So he's probably spending over $1,000 a month to be the person who shows up when somebody Googles that. And that is probably worth it to him, but keep that in mind.
Sarah, I was just going to say, I'm so glad you brought up that example, because I really want to encourage everybody, particularly since we're just starting this new year. I've already had so many calls from you guys about, marketing budgets. So really think in your mind, where have you been placing money in your marketing budget? Because to me, that example that Sarah just gave of $1,000, where are you maybe spending $1,000 already in your marketing efforts? And would it make more sense to redirect that money into a platform like Google and take advantage of a Google search where you're going to show up as the top realtor in Dallas when someone searches for that? So Sarah and I are so passionate about helping you all really rethink how to use the digital space, because I can't tell you how many conversations I have with agents who are spending $3,000 on a magazine ad. And I'll ask, hey, what was your return on investment? Did you have anyone call you from that ad? And most of the time they tell me no. Most of the time they tell me they've never received one phone call from an ad that they place in a magazine. So I know it's scary to try something new, but if what you've been doing has not been producing results and giving you a return on investment, I really want to encourage you to rethink where you're putting those dollars, and we're happy to help you. So anyway, that's my little tip. That's my little tip on that. Let me go over here to the chat, and we've had some questions, Sarah, about the auction. I know we were mentioning
Right.
The auction and Google and Facebook and running ads, and it does get sort of confusing. So just like high level brief overview, what we mean by the auction.
Yes. So it really is, if you guys are familiar with Facebook ads, it's the same way, but both of them work the same way, which is let's take the keyword Craig Ranch Homes. Okay. If you want to buy that keyword, everyone who says, I want to show up for that keyword will say, I'm going to bid up to, let's say, $5 per click to show up for that word. So if you say, I will do up to $5, Google will start at like 2 or 3 cents. And then it'll be like, oh, somebody else wants it. Let's make it 5 cents. Somebody else wants it. Let's make it 10 cents. And so it'll continue to drive it up until you get to the top. So if it only costs $1.50 per click for your word, then you will only spend $1.50. But if it costs $10 for your word, you'll get driven up until you're at that 5 mark, and then you'll drop out and quit showing up. And the person that said, I'll spend up to 10 will be at the top now. Does that make sense? So if you notice that, and if you're doing it by yourself and you notice that your ads have stopped showing up, that you're not spending any money, it's because somebody has beat you in the auction and you need to raise your bid or find another keyword. Now, if you use me and my service, that's one of the things that I do is I'm going to be watching it and going, okay, we're starting, we're in the number 1 position, and I will check in on it daily to see if we're staying in the number 1 position or if we've been knocked down by somebody. Now, keep in mind, if you're buying your name, then you're probably going to be 1 or 2 cents per click a couple of times a week, and that's it, because not everybody has your name, right? But if you're going for, Christopher Price, right? But if you're going for, something that's popular, like Craig Ranch Homes, where you're competing against builders and realtors and maybe mortgage companies, things like that, then you're going to have to say, how much am I willing to spend to get these clicks? And then knowing when to drop out. right? So I will be contacting you and being like, hey, we're starting to get at the top. We're not showing up number 1 all the time. It's like an average of 2, which means sometimes we're 1 and sometimes we're 2 or 3. Do you want to raise your bid? Is this producing leads for you? And that's really the answer, right? You can be number 1 in search, but if you're not getting any leads from being number 1, then it's not worth the money, and then we're going to drop out, and find new words to use. Google AdWords, it's not called Google AdWords anymore. It's Google Ads. They really are super effective, but they're super intense in that it's an evolving thing. You're always changing and suggesting something new, and you don't run them for a short period of time. If you're going to buy your name, you're going to buy your name, and you're going to run that for as long as you're in business, right? You're not just going to run it for a week and then be like, oh, okay, people knew my name for a week, right? It's something that you're going to do as just like a website, just like, your postcards, just like your business cards. Like it's an expense that you're going to have so people know who you are.
Awesome. Okay, let's do another question from the field, and then I'll go back and look at the chat. So who wants to come off mic and ask?
So I think we had Patricia.
I do.
Okay.
Sorry.
Patricia, then Rebecca. Okay.
Okay.
Did you say Patricia?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
Hi.
Sarah, this is my first experience. Hey, Dion, Happy New Year, baby. So for everybody on the call, because I saw a lot of the same messages in chat, can you send us, do you have a list of your services, who your services are, that maybe could be emailed to everybody that got an email concerning this webinar, this Zoom meeting?
Oh, girl, you're going to hear from us. Don't worry. No, I'm going, in a second, I'm going to show you kind of what we've been working on, like examples, so you can kind of see what we're talking about. But yeah, Ashley is going to download this chat, and everyone who says, can you send me something, will get a text or a phone call or an email. Because if you've worked with us before, we are like, our number one idea is to keep you guys happy and coming back and saying, okay, I need help. Like, this is a perfect example. I was telling my husband last night, it makes me feel so good that the new year starts and I get 2, 3, 4 emails of people saying, okay, first of the year, my people are ready to list. I need an ad, right? Because I'm part of their marketing service for their listings now, right? And it makes me feel so happy that I'm part of that business. And so all of you guys that are asking for help, we will be reaching out to you. You can reach out to us. And I'm going to be showing you my new and improved website here in a minute. So you can just bookmark that.
Hey,
also,
Sarah, real quick, I just put in the chat for everybody my personal cell number. I also put it in my email when I sent out the link. So my personal cell, I have a few phone numbers. So make sure you take down this specific number, 214-727-7034. That's my personal cell number. So for anyone on this call who does want to take this work further, who has more questions, who wants to dive into this deeper, who wants our help setting up anything having to do with Google or Facebook, just text me. I mean, it's super simple. I'm basically your gateway to Sarah. She is my social media partner. We do everything together, and I help orchestrate all of the meetings, and I do most of the meetings, quite honestly. And then when we get to that point of execution, then that's when I'll bring Sarah in to actually execute everything. Reason being, because with our new world, not only is she a business owner, but she has 2 kids that she is homeschooling. So she is incredibly busy. And so she really appreciates it when I can help do a lot of the legwork on the front end. So you guys just text me and I'll get it all set up.
Yes. All right. Rebecca, what was your question?
Okay. So I've got a question. I hope you can hear me all right. The question I have is, a lot of us are working out of virtual offices now. We don't have a physical office anymore. And the physical office of the broker may be somewhere other than where we're at. For example, I'm in Sherman, and I show up on a lot of the searches because I've done a decent job of SEO and getting that kind of stuff out, but I don't show up on all of them because, for example, Google Maps, even though I have a Google My Business page, if you put in Sherman, Texas realtor into maps, it's not going to pull that up because I don't have a physical address here. How do you overcome that?
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to show up. I'll just be honest. You're not going to show up on Google Maps if you Google Sherman, Texas realtor, because you're not going to have a physical location to show on the map. But if they Google your name, it'll show up your Google My Business information without putting a dot on the map. Now, as far as that, like if you have a virtual office, if you don't, go to a place, you can always put a PO box for the mailing address to make sure that you have a place, that people can send you stuff if they wanted to. But what I do on my Google My Business page, since I work from home, is you have to put in an address of some sort, because you have to get, if you've never set up a Google My Business, you have to get a postcard in the mail, which is so funny to me in today's time, but you have to get a postcard in the mail. So you have to have an address of some sort. But what I do is I take and hide my home address that I've given Google, and I select a marketing, like an area on a map that shows like a circle. And actually, I'm just going to show you guys that'll show a circle about the area that I serve, which is kind of ridiculous now because I serve everybody.
I've done that too.
But yeah,
I've done that too.
Yeah.
But the idea of the PO box, though, if you put that PO box as your address, would that show up on the maps then?
It may. I've never. I don't have a PO box, so I haven't tried it. But you can try it and see. But I know that means that you'll have a place that people can like send you things. But you'll still have to put in your physical address and then hide it, and then have that PO box as your mailing address.
Okay. I do have a PO box in Sherman for my business mail, so maybe I'll try that and see.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Perfect. Sarah, do you want to switch over and just show them a couple of the tools that we have that might answer some more questions? And then for those of you who can hang on with us a little longer, we always give something away. So you don't want to miss that. So if you can hang out with us for a little longer, don't want to miss our little giveaway.
Okay. So I'm going to show just real quick for you guys that didn't know what we were talking about. I'm just going to type in Buzz Hustle right here. In my Google My Business page, it'll show up from my point of view, but hopefully you'll still be able to see. Right here. So I have, instead of an address, I have a circle around like the area that I serve, which now that I'm partners with Ashley, I serve the entire DFW Metroplex, but when I first started, this was kind of where I was focusing. So I have an actual circle on my map instead of a specific address. And then also I want to show you, let's see here, right here. This is my Google My Business Insights. So it's telling me, let's see here, how people discovered you. So it's telling me that people that typed in digital marketing in search 161 times that my information popped up for them. And then you see here, it's different. So it's the same word, but it's typed in different. It shows up different. So I'm showing up here, and then it shows me all the different, words that could possibly be done. And so this is what I was talking about, that Google My Business search terms that you can go in and look at your insights and see what people are Googling when they found you. Okay, so this is my new website. Yay. I have been working so hard on this. And so the way Ashley and I are setting up now, if you've done ads with us in the past, and if you're new, then you're going to get the advantage of the easier system, I feel like, is I've set up my website as a place where you can buy what you want in real time. And so you can go in and select a product from the marketing toolbox. Let's say that you want more listings. Everybody wants more listings, or you want more buyers. You want to market a listing. I'll click this one. You want to market a listing. So we talk about what it is exactly that you want, and you can pick a digital postcard, which is sent out on Facebook, a Google display or discovery ad, which is sent out on Google properties, or a combo of both. And when you click on it, it gives you the ability to select your budget, add it to a cart, check out. it comes to me and you've bought an ad. Yay. So I want to show you guys what we're talking about with all of these. And these are all new. So I'm super, super excited about this. Okay, so this one is a Google ad for sellers. So people who want to sell their home, potential listings for you guys. And I'll just go through a couple of the different things. So it shows up in Gmail. It shows up on YouTube. And then it shows up on Google sponsored websites that have Google advertising within them. Come on. Come on. Why isn't it coming? Okay. All properties. Doesn't feel like it right now. Okay, well, you see what this one looks like anyway. So this is for people who you're looking for people selling their homes, and we can make this extremely specific to particular neighborhoods, areas, or we can make it the entire, length of a city or anything like that. Then we also have for, this one is homes for sale in Dallas. Dallas, Fort Worth, so it's very broad, but this is being marketed in California. So anyone in California who's been searching for homes in Dallas or Fort Worth or any combination of all the words that I've used, I think I have over 100 keywords for this ad, will see these ads in various places online. This is what it looks like on YouTube. So people watching YouTube, maybe looking at various YouTube channels for realtors in Dallas will see this ad, click on it. And when they click, I have created landing pages. So if you don't have a website, do not fear. I've created landing pages. So they land on something that looks like this. They click the button, name, phone number. We're actually not doing email anymore. And they get their updates. And it sends actually a email to you guys with the information that they put into this box. So you'll get your leads delivered via email. And also I'm keeping them in a Google sheet. So you'll have an Excel spreadsheet of all your leads as well. This is another one that I just recently started. So this one is homes for sale in a particular city. This agent had 4 or 5 different places that they wanted to run an ad. So the same ad, just the headline is different. One says The Colony, one says Louisville, one says Little Elm, and one says Carrollton. So we have an ad that's running, and we're sending it over the entire Metroplex. So if you're thinking of moving to any of those cities and you see this ad, you click on it and it takes you to a landing page where you can, oh, I gave a error. There we go. A landing page like this, where you will give your information, and that's it. And we're going to actually put in this box something to the effect of, let us know areas, price points, et cetera, et cetera. So it's optional. They can choose to give you more information for the list, or when you text them or call them, then you will be able to ask them those questions if they don't volunteer it in this box. And these are going to be emailed to you as well. We're also doing our digital postcards, which are basically Facebook ads. But instead of having them be messenger or lead form or anything like that, we're going to have them go to that exact same landing page. So all of your ads will be gathered here and emailed to you. So what that does is it makes this ad, so if you've done some ads with us in the past, these become cheaper because they're click ads now, as opposed to a messenger or a lead gen, which are more expensive per click. So this and this, yeah, those two are the same ad order, and they're going to be displayed 2 different ways, one on Google and one on Facebook. Then if you have a specific listing that you're wanting to put up, the way that we're going to be doing that is, instead of saying, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, so many square feet, whatever in the ad, we're going to be asking for list of homes. So we're really fishing for buyers of any sort. And then when they click on the ad, so it'll be similar to this, but then when they click on the ad on the landing page, you see this box is very similar to the previous one, but we're going to be having your listing as the featured listing when they land there. So if they're just looking for homes and they want to list, right? But then they look here and they're like, oh, this is a interesting house, right? So if they're interested in this specific one, they can do the tell me more button. But if they're just interested in all homes in the area, they can click here. And these are the same box. So these boxes will actually send the leads to your email, and they'll let you know if someone's interested in that specific house or in just a list of homes in a certain area. That way we're doing two birds, one stone. We're getting more buyers for you guys, and we're promoting your listing as the featured listing on the landing page. So those are our new offerings that we're doing, which are different from what we've done in the past. But what we're really trying to do is gather leads, like solid leads for you guys. And these aren't just going to be garbage leads, hopefully, because they do have to fill out their information and submit it on a separate form, which means that giving fake information isn't going to be to their advantage because they're not going to get anything, right? So far, out of like the 20 or so leads from the ads I've done so far, none of them have been fake. So that's good. So this is our answer to Facebook, between November and the end of the year. Like, their ads were not running as well as we wanted them to, and we were racking our brains to try to figure out how to fix that. And so we said, let's try Google, because I've been talking Google ads for a long time. We just, we were, kind of scared to transition. But then once Facebook started declining for us, then we had to find a new solution. And so we're excited about this. We've already had early success with it.
Yeah.
The last thing, somebody asking a question.
Sorry. No, that was
May I ask a question?
Uh-huh.
So on your landing page, so if I have an ad and they click on, I've got to figure out where it's going to land. Can I go to a calendar, where I say schedule time with Patricia, and they go right to the calendar to schedule?
Yeah, if you give me a calendar link for them to schedule a time to talk to you, all you have to do is come in here where this button is. Instead of this box, it would actually open into your calendar link. Yeah.
But Patricia, maybe what you're asking is, we're actually building these landing pages for you that are attached to the ad. So you really don't have to worry about if you have one or not.
Oh, well, I've already paid for some stuff that I need to utilize.
Okay, gotcha.
Great. We can take a look at what you have and we can figure out how to integrate it. Not a problem.
Yep.
Already sent you a text, baby.
Oh,
okay, awesome.
Very good. So Sarah, I'm sorry, was there anything else you were going to
Well,
show?
I was just going to show the digital postcards because hopefully all of you guys got the emails before the holidays that I was doing digital postcards, which are basically what Ashley said at the very beginning, which is things that you already spend money on, things that are kind of standards in your industry. We're taking them digital. So this is a postcard that we send to your sphere on Facebook. It goes into their personal feeds and gives them a greeting of some sort. So I wanted to show you guys one of our success stories, which Dion is on too, and she had some good success with hers as well. But these are, I create these and I have them on my website, and you get to pick what template you like. So this was a Celebrate template. You were able to pick from 16 options. And then I put the little note, I send it out to the people who have interacted on your Facebook page, your Instagram. If you wanted to send me your CRM list, your database, I could upload it to that. and then create an audience out of your personal Facebook friends. So if you did all 4 of those things, then this is being shown to everyone that you know online and within your database. So this was what the ad looked like. And then this is what the results were. So 166 people saw it. 335 people watched the video, which means people watched it multiple times. 6 people saw the postcard and clicked and like looked around the business page. We're like, hey, I hadn't heard from him in a while. I wonder what he's up to. And then 18 people liked, shared, or left a comment. So instead of sending out a postcard as a mailer to your sphere, or in addition to, you invest a small ad spend, send it to your sphere of people, and then you also see the results of what happened afterwards. Because with a postcard in the mail, until they call you, you don't know what happened to it. And this one, we have a really good way to track it. So love these. They're a great entry level way to get in touch with your sphere and stay relevant with them.
Yes, Sarah and I are so excited about this. This is, like she just said, this is like entry level. Like if anything else, if you could at least start with something like that. And I just want to reiterate why it is so important. You guys can now stop stressing out about, oh my gosh, I have to put content on my Facebook business page, or I have to put content on my personal page. What content do I put out there? I'm not saying that content isn't good, by all means, continue to post, but we know that about less than 2% of people ever actually see anything that you post. So if you want a guaranteed way of making sure that all the people who are friends with you on your Facebook and Instagram pages, your database, etc., basically we can load all of that using a CSV file into Facebook, and we can now send them content directly that's going to show up in their Facebook and Instagram feeds. So guaranteed way to make sure your face is showing up in front of the people that you want to have see you. And then we can even go further and do friends of friends. So there's so much, you guys, there's so much. We could keep talking. So please, if any of this gets you excited, if you really want to get serious about taking digital to the next level for your business, please just reach out to me. Shoot me a quick text. I am super chill. I will look at my calendar. I will just let you know when we have spots open. We will hop on Zoom together. And I basically just have kind of a series of questions that I know to ask that's going to help me figure out what you're doing right now, what your vision is, and then where I know Sarah and I can plug in and help you. So just shoot me a text message and we'll get it set up. I know that we have people across the Metroplex that were invited by some of my colleagues. So you guys text your business development officer, let them know that you're interested. We all work together and we are happy to help. So for those of you who are invited by my colleagues, please reach out to them as well and let them know you're interested